What is the best LEGO set of 2024? Making this video is becoming a tradition now, and with the Endurance being the last major release of the year, unless a last-minute surprise shows up, I'm now ready to cast my votes on what I personally think are the best LEGO sets over a different range of categories, leading all the way to the best overall LEGO set of the year. So to start things off, here's my picks for the Building Experience Award. I really thought nothing of the LEGO Icons Retro Radio, but as soon as I started building it and came across a different range of very unorthodox building techniques, a pleasurable building experience where you get to test the functions along the way, plus an insanely good looking end result, made for one of the best times I had building a LEGO set this year. Another unexpected surprise was the LEGO Ideas Tuxedo Cat, and I'm not even talking about the realistic look the guy has, minus the allergies for people who suffer with those. The great thing about building this one was the block approach, where you'd build different sections that you'd slowly attach to the main build until you got the cat itself, which was a fresh take for sure. Not only that, a lot of these blocks were actually very clever, stacked with lots of studs not on top techniques, making the whole experience very enjoyable from start to finish. Oh, and bonus points for the fact that if you turn the cat's head, it almost sounds like it's purring. Next up is the LEGO Super Mario, Mario and Yoshi set that, contrary to last year's Piranha Plant, did not disappoint. The 18+ Super Mario range of products are some of my favorites ever, so with this one, while the looks of the model are really simplistic, the actual process of building the amazing functions this set has, and getting to try them along the way, become as a learning experience almost, and one I have a lot of fun with. The LEGO Fortnite Pilly Bone goes to show that when I'm least expecting it are the times I end up being positively surprised by LEGO sets. Prior to putting this together, I have never heard about this playable character, but it isn't there where the surprise lies, but more on the building experience, and when a plain-looking base such as these hides advanced building techniques and angled sections like no others I've seen before, I knew I was in for a treat. The way the ribcage was built, his intestines that are actually his brains it seems, lots of studs not on top techniques for the body section, or even the top of the banana sliding into place at an angle were all incredibly satisfying to put together, making this one of the last picks for this award. Out of these 4 sets, the one that provided the best building experience was the Retro Radio, without a doubt, and this won't be the last time you hear about it. To start things off with the Best Functions Award, the LEGO Icons Dune Ornithopter reveal goes to show how much of an impression that particular model caused on people's first time seeing it in action, both on the LEGO Fan Media Days last year, but also on the internet, judging by the 11.5 million views that particular reel got on Instagram. A knob that deploys the folded wings of the ornithopter in sync, while a different mechanism will trigger the flapping motions, and let's not forget the landing gear that deploys and retracts like nothing LEGO has done up until now, surely deserves a spot here. I'm not the biggest LEGO Technic fan, as you may be aware, but I cannot ignore the glorious job done here with the system. Speaking of, I cannot believe I'm nominating a LEGO Technic product, yet the Planet Earth and Moon in Orbit set made my list. The amount of different things that happened in this LEGO set at the turn of a simple crank is wild, to say the least, and I would encourage you all to watch that particular review after this video for an in-depth look. Not only that, it does everything with a near-perfect astronomical precision, where the rotation of the Sun, Earth and Moon in relation to one another are very accurate when compared to how things happen in real life, which really impressed the space nerd in me. I spoke about the radio before, but not much about its function, and there's simple things like the handle or the AM/FM toggle, but there's also the frequency dial that actually moves the needle back and forth. Not only that, when turned on, not only will the dial move back and forth, but it will also trigger a specially made sound brick hidden inside the build, mimicking the function and sounds of real-life radios, which completely blew my mind, understandably so. Last on the list, the Mario and Yoshi set are featured once again for similar reasons to the LEGO Technic Orrery. A simple crank does a lot on this model. There's a lot of different actions going on, like the whole build going up and down, Yoshi's legs and arm moving back and forth, Mario's cape waving at the wind, and Yoshi's head also moving back and forth. From the back, a special crank can also be turned to trigger the berry-eating motion of Yoshi, and having the Mario playable character scan the special code the set has will trigger Super Mario World's theme song, and cranking Yoshi's lever while Mario sits in there will activate a loop of animations in his little screen. There's too much happening in here, reason why this is my fourth pick for this category. Before giving the prize away, there's also 3 honorable mentions I feel I need to point out, starting with the LEGO Ideas Polaroid camera that actually shoots a photo when you push its button, the dancing Groot that looks way too cute with his dancing motion doing all sorts of movements, once again, with a single crank, and finally the Harry Potter sorting hat that will sort people into the different Hogwarts houses when you push its tip, due to the sound brick hidden inside, while animating its eyes and mouth all at the same time. Really impressive stuff. With that out of the way, these are the 4 nominees for Best Functions Award, and the prize goes to the Ornithopter, without a doubt. It is one of my least favorite LEGO Icons models of the year, yet its functions are on a whole other level for LEGO standards. For the Best Value Award, I'll start with a very underrated model, the LEGO Auspicious Dragon. While it didn't beat any of the 4 picks for Best Building Experience, I did enjoy this one quite a lot in that regard, as it packs lots of clever building techniques from start to finish. All of the decorations you see are actually prints, with the set having a lot more than your average LEGO set, judging by those scales alone, and with a piece count close to 1200 pieces and a retail price of $90, make the combination of all of these factors a reason for the nomination. The LEGO Architecture Notre Dame beats every LEGO set currently in the portfolio on price per piece ratio alone, with a price of $230 and a piece count of almost 4,400 pieces. Nothing comes close, not even art sets, and that's saying a lot. Sure, lots of pieces are very small, but they're still not free to produce, so take that as you will. Building this one was also surprisingly satisfying, even with all of the repetitive steps it had. The building instructions guide you along the process with lots of snippets of information about the actual landmark and LEGO model, which add a bit more to the whole experience. No stickers, exclusive prints, and provided you have the space and love for architecture, this will look great on display. Next up, we get to see the LEGO Ideas Tuxedo Cat once again. If building experience isn't enough value for you, let me tell you that this 1700 piece LEGO model retails for less than you'd imagine. $100 in fact, which is amazing. Not Notre Dame levels of amazing, but close. Also displays really nicely, making some people believe this is actually a real cat from a distance, and if that wasn't enough, it also has exclusive prints, 2 sets of eyes actually, so you can customize it to your liking. Can't beat that. The final pick for this award is the LEGO Fortnite Battle Buzz, because it teaches a lesson to all LEGO IP-based themes. I'm not sure what kind of deal is going on with this one, and looking at numbers alone, this 1000-piece LEGO model that retails for $100 doesn't look that impressive, right? Wrong. You need to look into the details, and in this particular case, those are the 9 exclusive minifigures included, all featuring never-seen-before body prints, and a surprisingly amount of them were made with new elements, which, let me tell you, is extremely expensive to do. Take any LEGO IP that does new elements and prints for their characters and you'll quickly see how pricey they are in comparison. You'll see a 30 to 40% markup on retail prices at minimum, so yeah, Fortnite Buzz. Amazing value. Before giving away the award, an honorable mention goes to the Natural History Museum, that even though was released to the public in 2023, technically still is a 2024 product, and as with most modular buildings, has unmatched price per piece ratios, displays really well if you like the style, and I for one, being the dinosaur fan that I am, can't really get over that banner outside or the Brachiosaurus brick-built skeleton on the inside. Out of the 4 nominees for Best Value, the winner for me is the LEGO Ideas Tuxedo Cat. It has the highest combined value of building experience, prints, price per piece, while also being relatively affordable. Can't really beat that. I rarely have LEGO on display for long, so these are the standout nominees for best display value, starting off with the roses. Since building it, it has been on permanent display at my place with these vase and extra transparent blue pieces to make a water effect of sorts. The botanical range as a whole has lots of strong contenders for display. I believe a lot of people take advantage of, and it wasn't easy for me to pick just one done this year, but between the roses and the plum blossom I reviewed a few weeks ago, the roses came out on top for me. The LEGO Star Wars midi-scale Millennium Falcon does brilliantly what the big Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series sets can't: be displayed without you needing to buy new furniture. Like, for real, where are people keeping those giant dust magnets? And that's why the Millennium Falcon is such a great product in my eyes. You can place it anywhere, the black stand gives it a very tasteful look that will not feel out of place as a decor piece. It was also surprisingly fun to build with interesting building techniques. It had no stickers, which is unheard of when it comes to Star Wars. It is surprisingly affordable, so there's just too much good stuff going on with this one to ignore it. If you're into retro decor, the retro radio will be right up your alley, because just look at it, right? It doesn't even look like LEGO, which is the highest form of praise for a display set, I think, especially when looking at it from a distance. Its color, while not being my favorite, still looks great and matches the dated style of the object, not to mention all of the other reasons I've mentioned previously for other awards. Great stuff, I think. The last of this section has got to be the LEGO Ideas Botanical Garden. I may be a bit biased with this one, but I really enjoy looking at these types of builds. I was a big fan of the LEGO Friends Botanical Garden set, and then this one came along with an adult spin on it that I really enjoyed. The new transparent pieces that made the glass domes possible does play a huge part in the looks of these in the end, which I don't mind at all. Simply put, this set is beautiful. At least I think it is. Now, before casting my vote, I got to hand out some honorable mentions to LEGO Art Mona Lisa due to the obvious reasons, right? If you don't wanna wait in line for hours to see the real deal, you might as well get a LEGO version and have it on display at the comfort of your own place. The other one, provided you have the space to display it, is the recently released Endurance. LEGO doesn't do nearly enough LEGO ships for the nautical fan, so whenever something like this comes along, it will be an instant hit, I think, and this one looks amazing. The cloth sails and string goes a long way in its looks, the build was awesome, it's fairly priced and good value as well, with some exclusive prints. With that said, these are the 4 nominees for best display value, and the winner, in my eyes, is the Roses set. Flowers on display go hand in hand, so LEGO flowers can't be topped, most of the time. A new award I'm doing this year is the Nostalgia Award. A lot of adult-driven offerings are capitalizing on nostalgia, so it kinda made sense for me to be showcasing some of the best things LEGO has done in that regard this year. And so, if you're a big Disney fan, chances are you've seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs as many times as I did. And the LEGO set featuring the Dwarf's Cottage is an excellent throwback to that particular movie. First and foremost, the minifigures included are everything you could ask for from such a product, featuring Snow White, the Witch, Prince, and obviously the Seven Dwarfs. But don't let those distract you, as the cottage itself was an incredible build to do as well. The roofs were a bit repetitive, I'll give you that, and the open bag situation may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I for one really enjoyed this one as a whole. Next up is the LEGO Ideas Jaws set, based off of the very popular summer blockbuster. As the Snow White set, it perfectly captures the main aspects of the movie in a single display piece, and does it brilliantly. First, with the best looking LEGO shark ever, that was also an awesome build that has its own display stand where you can keep the 3 main characters, Quint, Hopper and Broody, but you have the option of splitting the shark in 2 and have it on the display base instead, where a brilliant build of the Orca also rests. I tell you, as far as boats go, the Orca is by far one of the best LEGO minifigure scaled boats LEGO has done so far. The combination of all of these factors makes it a great nostalgia driven product in my opinion. The LEGO Icon Zelda 2-in-1 Deku Tree is a LEGO set I have failed to review yet, because I haven't had the time to properly research all things related to it. Yet I could not unsee the amount of buzz around it for being the first LEGO Zelda set ever done, after many failed attempts by fans on the LEGO Ideas platform, and also due to pricing, but let's not talk about that for now. The minifigure selection is, to my understanding, everything fans could ever ask for, featuring exclusive prints and elements. And for the model itself, having the options of building either 2 of the Deku Tree versions is also great value, with one of them feeling way more nostalgic than the other, of course. There's lots of Easter eggs referencing in-game objects and characters people will immediately recognize, so all in all, it rightfully deserves a nomination here. Last but not least, the LEGO Ideas Nightmare Before Christmas set is also a strong nostalgia contender, Thunder based off of Tim Burton's movie from 30 years ago. While the entire set is amazing and was awesome to build with lots of interesting building techniques, it could have been cut down in size to just the cemetery display, with the big moon and main characters Jack, Sally and Zero, which to me are the main things people will be looking to get out of this set. And with all of that said, out of these 4 nominees, considering the mix of character selection, price and building techniques, Jaws takes the award here. But I can understand how this may be a highly controversial and subjective pick and theme as a whole, but you tell me. Now comes the time to cast the votes for the best LEGO sets of the year, and I think given the amount of times many of these have been nominated before in this video, won't come as a surprise for you. The LEGO Star Wars midi-scale Falcon combines amazing display value and great building experience at an affordable price, which is crazy to say when we're talking about Star Wars. As is saying, the set has lots of decorations, but 0 stickers, so rightfully belongs here. The LEGO Super Mario and Yoshi set was extremely fun to put together, combining system and technique bricks to an amazing and playful end result that really stands out above the majority of LEGO sets I've built this year. The LEGO Ideas Tuxedo Cat was nominated in 3 awards, so I don't think I need to praise it more, do I? Amazing value, amazing building experience, and definitely one of the best LEGO sets of the year. And finally, the Retro Radio. I truly believe this is a severely underrated LEGO set of 2024, and not a whole lot of people are aware of how great it is, but I'm here to change that, so that's the final nomination. These are my personal favorite LEGO sets out of almost 200 I've put together this year, and while the Millennium Falcon and the Mario and Yoshi are amazing, they weren't nearly as impressive as these two. As I think back to the time I built each of these and what I experienced then, I can clearly remember that the one who made my jaw drop an extra couple of times when compared to the other was without a doubt my favorite LEGO set of 2024. The LEGO Icons Retro Radio. Would love to know what your personal favorite LEGO sets of this year are. Links to buy all of these are included in the description if you wish to support the channel just a little. And do keep in mind that the Double Insiders Points Weekend event is just around the corner, as is Black Friday. Maybe the best times to make your purchases and cash in on points and stack with gift with purchase sets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next year.